Yeah, because I see a lot of people do that. They write it down and shit, or they'll print it out and fucking they'll take it around with them and show it around during games.
That's what a
Uh,
couple coaches have done. I don't know if BKN had one. Maybe.
yeah, the Brazilian
Yeah,
teams they did it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'd do it, but it's a case of finding the time to write it all down.
Yeah.
You know?
No, like sometimes I write down like strats because it's easier to like print or paint something real quick, like the map
Yeah.
or some rooms, and say this operator, this operator, this operator. But the real strats we are doing online
Yeah.
because I don't know, like it's easier so everyone
Yeah.
have it, and then
I said I don't want to get into too much yet until we start recording.
I
But I
already
mean,
started. I already started. Don't worry.
oh, perfect, perfect. I mean, what what I did really like seeing from from I love going back to watch analyze games because I coach myself a lot of the time. I love going back to analyze the games, and I think it's really unique when you have KS on that Dokkaebi, and it really works. He seems to like, and I don't know if this is true or not because I don't know how he is. I've never met him, but he seems more comfortable in sort of a flexible role with you, whereas with Penta he was just mirror out and out.
yeah, yeah. I think like because we are all Germans, we can communicate
Yeah,
better,
and
and it's
I guess it's more like comfortable for him as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I think that as well, and it's more like we are a big family somehow. Like we all speak the same language. That's the big point, and like yeah, we are all good friends.
Yeah. I could
Yeah.
definitely tell that like whenever if I play with somebody and they play with one of their friends who they speak the same language with, it's just instantly like you just have like this built-in chemistry from
Well,
speaking the same language.
like a lot of people don't think it, but chemistry helps a lot.
Yeah.
Chemistry makes a big difference.
Well, I mean that's
Like
the only yeah.
if you go into a game with someone you hate, chances are you're not going to do all that well. If you go
It's
into a
just
game with someone you're close with,
yeah,
you know, and
there's a
you know,
constant tension when you're not like when you know that there's something you don't like or that like when there's a tension between you and another player, it really does affect the gameplay. And I can imagine
yeah,
KS is probably like he's probably happy being on like a more German like a full German
yeah.
team now.
I think from what I've seen, like recent tweets and stuff, he does like he feels like he's at home, sort of. I mean, obviously, like I said, we can't really judge. We don't know him, but you know, it just that's the vibe I'm kind of getting. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. So like how Lazo how like I guess you might not want to go into like too specific right before the invitational, but like can you tell us anything about like the actual process of coaching? Like do you just like make all their strats and figure everything out on your own, or is there other stuff that you like to try and like work with the team about and stuff like that?
Uh, yeah, we focus on ourselves at the moment because we are a new team. Definitely, we're here for like 1 or 2 months, and we need to train ourselves, communication, etc. And for me, I'm doing I'm watching the VODs of the other teams, which are all online,
Yeah.
like from the invitational players and from the invitational ladder.
Yeah.
And yeah, but first of all, we concentrate on ourselves and try to improve everything we can in the short
Mhm.
period of time.
Yeah. That is
Well,
a good point. Like there's a lot of especially like that's one of the big things with teams that don't necessarily have like a coach is there's a lot of issues that go unresolved because the players don't have the self-awareness to like take an objective look at the team. And
mhm.
there's a lot more emotions involved than when you have a coach who can just kind of like look at the group of players and see like all their
Well, I
strengths
think
and weaknesses.
one thing that I like, so Ozzy, it's kind of not really a coaching role, but it's kind of like a more grown up role, taking care, being like a parent figure, if somewhat. But like, if there's an argument in the group, the coach resolves it. End of. The coach's word is final. Simple as.
Yeah, that's pretty it. Like yeah, you bring it on the
So so,
point. Like
so for the squad, it's Daddy Lasso, is it? Daddy Lasso.
no, they won't call me like that, but sometimes it feels like it. when when there's a big argumentation and discussion, then everybody's escalating sometimes, and
Yeah.
then I can come and I have a different point of view because I was not involved in it maybe, and they listen what I'm saying, and I try to like yeah try to solve every problem we have as
Yeah.
quick as possible.
That's good. That's good. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, like the bracket was drawn, or the groups were drawn yesterday when we're recording this.
Well, as of recording, the brackets dropped last night.
Yeah, and we still don't know the community vote team. It's looking, I mean, obviously either Vitality
Right
or
now,
BRK.
well, I said it was BRK last night, and now it's Vitality. So
I think it
who
might
knows?
be back in BRK's favor again. I'm not exactly sure.
Last I checked was like 20 minutes ago, and it was 47% Vitality, 43 BRK.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a whopping 2% Mantis, 8% Flipside.
Yeah, Mantis and Flipside kind of got left in the dirt when all the Brazilians and French people got in there, but
yeah.
I mean, obviously you Lazzo, you guys have the community vote team, and also of course Penta and EG, which is, you know, tough competition for your first LAN event. Is there, I mean, I assume you guys are probably underway in preparing and probably already had prepared for to some degree to these teams, or yeah, can you tell me about like the preparation you guys are doing specifically for your group or anything like that?
You guys are playing against Evil Geniuses in the first round, right?
Yeah, that's right. We faced Evil Genius for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it will be definitely a very strong match. It will be very
well,
hard.
I think one thing I've got to say from one coach to another: don't let them have border.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, everybody's been saying that it's obviously, like, everybody's been saying it's going to be the hardest group and toughest bracket to get out of, and I mean
the group of death.
Right, everybody's
Honestly,
expecting.
The group of death, yeah.
I think
we're saying that's the group of death. I think the hardest group to predict is actually Group C. Group C, like, my mind is frazzled trying to predict what's going to happen, because you've got who is it? I forgot now. It's Elevate, who are in there, the tier 2 team in there. The tier 3 teams are Supremacy.
Dragons.
Yeah, that's it. Black Dragons. So Black Dragons are the tier 1, great Latin America team, as we all know. Tier 2, Elevate, quality team on their day. Will they turn up at LAN? That is the question. And then tier 3, we've got Supremacy, who obviously very strong showing against you, Lazzo. I mean, as I think came your words yourself, you said they are your perfect counter, so that was a tough game for you. And then the last team in that is formerly La Chenette, now Yeah Gaming, who again, surprise underdogs in the qualifiers, but a very strong team overall by the looks of it.
Yeah. I think, but the thing about Group C is rather than having just like raw talent, I think it's more of an equally matched group, whereas I mean, everybody of course is expecting Penta and Evil Geniuses to go through, but depending on the community vote, I mean, we're obviously going to see either Vitality or BRK, who are, I mean, BRK are an incredibly tough team to beat, and Vitality, I'm sure, will have a very intense amount of preparing, assuming they win the community vote. But the thing is, with the amount of upsets we've seen at the Invitational in the qualifiers so far, do you think it necessarily will be one of the expected teams, or do you think you guys are going to be able to prepare better than one of the other teams and make it through, Lazzo?
Yeah, that's definitely a nice question. Like, for me, I think it's really hard to tell which one of the teams will make it through the group stage and which one will come to the top 8 and play on the big stage. But yeah, I would not say that it's like these teams like Penta, Evil Geniuses, FaZe, and all these teams will make it just because they are really good and they done very well in their past. Because like you can never tell which team will win and which team will have a good day on the LAN.
Yeah,
and
it's whoever turns up on the day, really.
It really, really is.
And
I mean,
and yeah, another problem is you never saw Evil Genius or Penta play for a long time. Like, you don't know how they play the new meta, how they can handle it, and how they can manage to counter.
Well, I think one of the strange things is there isn't really, unless you've scrimmed against them, there isn't exactly much raw footage and VODs and stuff of how Penta play with Shate, how Ents play with Yuno in their team. So there's kind of like a bit of an uncertainty there. Like, do you know what to bring to counter if you don't know what they're going to bring, if you know what I mean?
And obviously there's not going to be a lot of scrimming now that the brackets have been drawn within the groups themselves. I mean, you guys probably won't be scrimming Penta and stuff like that For I mean the simple fact that you guys are playing them. So, and also I mean depending if Vitality also makes it through, then that would be a potential scrim partner. But then again, if they're in your group, then that's not something you want to be doing.
Okay, I want to say something about Vitality, but I don't want to receive a buttload of hate from the French community. In my opinion, I don't want to say it because I'm going to get so much hate from the French community. I don't think Vitality should have been in the community vote. I think Millennium should have won it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Vitality's a Challenger League team, though, right?
Vitality.
No, they are
like,
pro league. They were
pro league.
Yeah, they are pro league now.
Oh, okay.
But this is they're back in it, aren't they? I think.
Well, yeah, they were
just got
Challenger League
Yeah,
last
they
season.
made it through
Yeah.
the relegations. Yeah.
Yeah, but
they
I
got
mean,
relegated. Not
Well, I'm
Challenger.
gonna get so much hate from saying this, but in the qualifiers, they didn't turn up against Xbox Master Race at all, and it let Xbox Master Race 2-0 them.
Yeah.
So really, in a way, they've been 2-0'd in the first round of the qualifiers, and they still have a chance to go to Montreal. Like that's the part that annoys me.
Yeah, it's true what you're saying. Like maybe Millennium should have got the spot because they won more matches and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But in the end, it's like the community voted for them, so there was
Yeah.
the same chances. And
Was
yeah, when the
Millennium in the thing
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
first?
yes.
they
Okay.
were.
It
And
was
when-
who was it? It was Millennium, Vitality, I don't know, and who else?
It was man, who was it?
Overtime esports.
Overtime, yes.
That's it. I
Right.
can't remember who I voted. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think the whole community vote system has been handled quite poorly. I think the whole idea of a community vote in general isn't a great idea.
It's for the Siege community, not for celebrities to get involved in, which is what really that pissed me.
I don't know. I'd rather have like an extra spot per region rather than the community vote, or rather than the community vote, or no, it would just be one extra spot, I guess, in that case. But I don't know. I think the community vote has been handled quite poorly, and I don't know. Do you have any opinions on what they should have been doing?
It's
differently?
favored for the French and Brazilian, communities.
Well-
Well, those are the biggest communities.
Well, I don't think it's
And-
favored towards them. I just think it's just a fact of those are the biggest communities. But I don't think it's like in their favor because all the other regions can, or all the other like communities can still win the vote. It's just if more people vote in those regions, then that's just how voting works.
Yeah, but they kind of needed two French teams in the regional European poll because if it was just one French team, then they would have completely raped the other teams
Yeah,
pretty much
probably.
in the community vote.
Yeah, I don't know. Lazzo, what are your opinions on? Like you said that obviously Vitality was the team that got voted in, but what's your opinion on the community vote as like a whole?
As a whole, I think it's different. It's hard to tell if it's if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing because it was a try from Ubisoft definitely to like involve the community in which team they want to see at the finals in the invitationals. And yeah, okay, it was a bit poorly that now all the Brazilian and French people are texting with big YouTubers and famous people, so they vote
my
for
God.
the team. But I don't know if Ubisoft or the development team of Rainbow Six really expected that to happen. Like,
Yeah.
It's not really something they predicted.
it escalated really quickly, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
there's a huge fight, but in the end, both sides are doing the same thing. So it's fair. It's kind of fair. Like,
Yeah.
they are talking to big YouTubers in French and in Brazil. So
Like-
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah, if there was just the one team that was doing that, then it would be like kind of stupid. But since they're both doing it, and since they're both neck and neck right now, I think it's kind of like it doesn't really make a difference because either they like it's just the total number of votes. They would have been just as close regardless. I think.
And another fact is like it's very good for Siege and for esports because now everybody is like when there's a big YouTuber posting like, oh, vote for that French team in Rainbow Six Siege Invitationals, then maybe some of the viewers will watch the finals, watch the Invitationals, or even buy the game.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm right on this, but I think I am. The finals in Sao Paulo was the most viewed one
Yeah, it
ever,
was.
despite it being a PowerPoint. But we'll forget about that.
I can never forget about that.
We'll let it slide. I think the worst one was the Pentamantis game. The Pentamantis game was literally going like slide by slide.
But yeah,
like, that was painful to watch.
You're right. I mean, Lazzo, at the end of the day, the Invitationals is just like a big promotional event for the game and for growing the esport rather than. I mean, obviously it is a competition and it's something that there's a big prize pool for and stuff like that. But I think obviously the reason all these big orgs are getting invited, like FaZe getting the wild card, you guys getting the wild card. I mean, I think it's just like a lot of the decisions are made based on business.
I've known about 1UP for ages, right? I mean, I'm familiar with their Xbox Major League team, obviously their PlayStation Major League teams forever. Like I'm still good friends with their current Xbox Major League team as well.
Right.
And 1UP isn't actually that big of an org.
No, I think rather than I don't think I don't think they invited because of the size of the org. I don't know. Maybe
just
Lazzo
the German market. They're trying to get German viewers. I think so because I mean Germany as a gaming market is pretty big, and if you're trying to make basically if you think about it, the Invitational is like the World Cup. So you're trying to appeal to every region for the viewership.
Actually, change the subject. That's something I'd like to talk about. Do you guys think a Siege World Cup would work, like with the Overwatch World Cup?
That's what the
Invitational is.
Yeah. No, but I'm on about like instead of just actual like just like I'm on about one team from like each nation, so like a Brazilian team, a Canadian team, like an American team.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I mean, well, the German team would probably be 1UP because you're pretty much the only German players, aren't you?
The best German players.
Yeah, but I think it's not a good idea to make it like from every region there should be one team.
I think some other people might have something to say about that, Ghost.
Which other people?
I don't know. I can't think of any.
I can't think of any other German teams that are as good as 1UP right now.
I can't think of any German teams at all.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
Lazzo
of course there is.
Some.
Yeah, there are definitely some German teams, and as maybe when we go back to the statistic, Germany has the most diamond players, the most diamond players in the whole game, and based on it's right. It's based on the.
In other words, your country is full of rank sweats.
I wouldn't say that. Like, I would say like it's hard to get a big or a very strong and big lineup for Germany because the Germans are not easy to handle. I would say like it's hard to stay in the team and stick with these people. Like
skill wise, that you're always like getting replaced because there's somebody better than you, or just because it's a very like because it's hard for German players specifically to stay in a team without like egos getting too big and stuff like that.
I would say on some point the skill is missing, definitely. Yeah. By some people, it's like when for me I opened the team 1 year ago or something like that, and then through the month
the original team under Mysterious Monkeys was you, Bolly, Docker, Vale, and Rips. Am I correct?
Yeah, but before that we were by My Revenge and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's what got you the org Mysterious Monkeys.
Yeah, kind of. And the thing is, like, it's very hard to find a new German player when you want to change someone. Like, it's nearly impossible to find one. It's not like in the French community you can like they are always changing their players, and then
in the French community you just say need a new player, boom, got one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas I assume the German community tad more difficult.
Yeah, when you ask for a new player, there are tons of players, but there are only one or two guys which can really handle that kind of level, because most of the people they have good aim and good game knowledge, but they can't play in ESL. Like it's different.
Well,
It's different.
I think with the way I see it, as I see, yeah, you could have amazing gun skill, have an amazing game sense and knowledge and stuff, but really, it all comes down to can you handle your nerves in a competitive situation with things on the line?
I think it's more than that too. I think it's about like split-second decisions as well. You need an IGL and players who are able to adapt very quickly and who are able to follow instruction effectively.
I mean, obviously, I don't know who plays, but I mean, who actually IGLs for 1UP? Because I can't remember. Like, who's actually the in-game leader when they're playing?
Hungry is the in-game leader.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, I was watching your game against Supremacy live with Dylan, and I would not shut up about how amazing Hungry was on Ying. Dylan will back me up. Like, the entire time, it was just me raving about Hungry on Ying. I literally fell in love with the man.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, we are using the meta quite good. Like, Supremacy, they are using it very well as well. And yeah, but it's not like some people say like, oh, they're just using that glass Ying stuff, and then it's easy to win. Like, it's hard to master them, and it's hard to get a stretch which is working. Like, that's the things people don't see.
Yeah, Lackey was actually complaining about that on Twitter. He was I think he was referring to Canadian or something, and he was asking, how do you counter that meta, the Glaz Ying meta? How do you counter that on defense?
If I tell you that, then we will fuck Invitational. So,
that's a confidential one for now. Yeah.
All right.
Every team needs to figure it out by themselves how they can counter it, but it's definitely not like OP.
I mean, and maybe when we pause the recording, you'll let us know. Yeah.
I think one thing I want to say about that is, people who just say, oh, 1UP aren't a good team, they just abuse the Glaz Ying meta, and that's why they got so far, is a completely ridiculous thing to say, because if you guys are playing the Glaz Ying meta and you're winning rounds because of Glaz and Ying, and the other team is not playing Glaz and Ying, it's not you guys abusing anything that's overpowered necessarily.
It's just you're using the new meta how to win.
It's the other team who's not understanding how to win attacking rounds. Like, if you guys are winning attack and defense, and the attack happens to be the Glaz Ying thing, then it's the enemy's team fault for not using Glaz and Ying or not using them properly. If that's the meta, then that's how they have to play it.
Yeah, true. I can only say, that's right. That's what we think as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous to say, like, you shouldn't be using an overpowered meta because, I mean, if something's overpowered, then...
okay, you want to talk about overpowered meta. Let's just go back to the original Banana Man Glaz. I think that's enough said about that.
I'd say the old Glaz meta was a lot worse, or skill wise than the Glaz Ying meta, because the Glaz Ying meta requires a lot more coordination and teamwork, and just like better chemistry. But Glaz, you just need a player who's good on Glaz, and then that's it.
Awesome. So, well, when we finish this call, I need you to do me a favor, Lazzo. Go up to Rips and tell him I love him for that ace on Clubhouse.
Oh yeah, definitely. That
was a thing of beauty. That was an absolute thing of beauty.
Yeah, and that's another point, which maybe because of Rips we can play that strat how we want to, because he's a very strong Glass player, and he showed that against Supremacy that he can land every shot he wants, and that he knows how to play Glass definitely well.
Yeah, exactly. I think, Siege is just a game of who adapts better to the meta. And I think...
To be fair, though, in a way, that's kind of what it's always been. It's a case of, can you adapt to what's good at the game?
And everybody was saying, like, the only reason Penta lost last season was because Black Dragons abused Glaz. But it's like, no, it's because Penta didn't use Glaz to his full effectiveness, and Black Dragons did.
I don't want to say anything towards like Penta, because obviously brilliant team, but they don't really have that standout Glaz player like Brazilian teams do.
Yeah,
and I think obviously you do as Rips.
Glaz,
like, wasn't it? We saw. Was it Fabian was playing Glaz when they did bring in Glaz, and Fabian is not a Glaz player.
Yeah, to say the least.
And anyone can look at him playing Glaz and say Fabian is not a Glaz player.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the meta changes, and we are the people. We are the Pro League teams, and
Yeah.
or the best teams in the world. And we are the teams, not
Well,
just
I mean,
one up.
you're one of the
Panther
best
and
teams
Ents.
until I get a PC, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and teams like Ents, Panther, and all the Pro League teams, they are making the meta. So
Mhm.
they can't say that, oh, they are abusing the meta, because we are the people who, yeah, we are creating the meta. Like when we play a different spot which is not common, like we play toilet on border or stuff like that, then it's not
Yeah.
overpowered. It's just the thing if the other team is ready for it or not.
What I want to know is, I can't remember if Rips used it or not, but what do you think about the use of a suppressor on Glaz? Yes or no?
No, I would not use it. I would not
'Cause
prefer the silencer.
I see a lot of people use it, and then I see a lot of people not using it. And personally, I don't know what I mean, obviously, without it, it's a lot more damage. You're more consistently going to get 2-hit kills over than like maybe a 3-hit body hit. But at that level of the game, your shots are going to be headshots anyway. So
Not necessarily
yeah,
with an operator like
it's
Laz,
hard.
though.
Yeah, it's hard for Glass to one-shot everyone in the head. Like
yeah,
it's very hard.
true.
But
Unless you've got like some ridiculous godlike aim.
yeah, that's true. But it's kind of, you can, every person should handle that for himself. Like if he wants to play the silencer or not, it's a thing. Like, do you want to play high sense or low sense? It depends on your game style and on your play style.
Yeah.
What you want to do.
I think the thing, one of the arguments I heard for it that kind of made sense to me, when Black Dragon's Psycho used to play Glaz in Season 3 at LAN, and he was extremely good on it, and he played Suppressor, and I heard, I don't recall who from, but in one of the viewing parties, I think one of the Pro League casters possibly, said that it's used to, so that it makes it harder to counter, like you can't, like if you can hear the Glaz in the middle of the smoke grenade, and you can hear where he's standing, and you can see his tracers, you can kind of pre-fire him to some degree, but the Suppressor makes it extremely hard to like know where exactly he's coming from, and especially if there's a lot of smoke.
Pinpoint the location of the bullets.
Right. Yeah, and especially with a lot of smoke down, you don't really know where the Glaz is going to be, so it makes it a lot harder to hide and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's true, but that's a thing for the Brazilian teams, I would say, because the Brazilians, they are single players. Like, they really, even a Glass goes for himself. Like, he smokes the room, and then he goes in, and he kills everyone. That's why he needs that silencer, because there's nobody who's protecting him or, like, covering him. And that's why, maybe for me, I think the Brazilians are more using silencers as the EU teams.
Speaking of Brazilians, after 1 year of seeing the Brazilians play in the Pro League, do you think that Brazil or Latin America as a region is better than North America? Like we saw North America, they kind of.
I mean, okay. So my input into that would be, they are both great regions. Both have like amazing teams. I mean, if we look at North America, some of the best teams, obviously we've got Evil Geniuses, we've got Elevate, we've got Rogue, who are brilliant. You know, we have a lot of quality teams in the North American region. And then we also go over to the Latin America region, and we have people like, we have now FaZe, Liquid, BRK, all again quality teams. So really, I think they're probably evenly matched. It's just a case of who turns up on the day if they play each other. I don't think you can really say what region is better, especially you look at the play styles as well. It's two completely different play styles. Like the way I see it, North America compared to Latin America is more strat based, whereas Latin America is really aggressive play, which makes it so much fun to watch.
Yeah, that's one of the things I do really like about the LAN events, is seeing all the different play styles in all the different regions. Obviously, it's something that everybody says, but I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing how the Glaz Ying meta, something that hasn't been very present in NA, in the Invitational qualifiers. I want to see how exactly Evil Geniuses are going to be able to handle it. I'm assuming that's what you guys are going to do. I mean, obviously you guys could go with a completely different playstyle by that time, Lazzo. So I guess yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they react.
Yeah, it will be it will be a very strong and very hard match, because we never played against then an A team or a Latin American team. because we are only scrimming against EU teams because of the time difference and stuff like that.
Right.
And so yeah, it's the first time, and for them it's the first time as well to face us. But they faced other EU teams, and Evil Geniuses. They played on more lands and stuff like that, so they are the more experienced team, I would say.
Yeah.
But maybe a thing which we can count on is that we are new, that nobody knows maybe how to counter us very good and very well, and that they maybe can't handle our playstyle, or they are just not ready for some things we are trying to do.
I think that's something that you guys have had going for you in the Invitational qualifiers, is having a very different playstyle. Not just from other EU teams, but just from anything else in the world right now.
I don't know if you were here, guys, but I think we talked about this before we were recording, about like a lot of people are actually hating on One Up for getting invited, when in my opinion, you guys 100% deserve to be there. I mean, if you look at the invitation, you went the furthest. You're only one game away from winning, and the other teams you did defeat. You know, I mean, I don't want to point like fingers or anything, because I don't want to be that kind of guy. But you know, you guys do deserve it.
Yeah, it was really unexpected for us that we became the team which can fly to Montreal. It was really unexpected. After our loss, we thought like, yeah, okay, we tried, we gave our best, and it was okay for us because we were new and we nearly made it, and we beat other pro teams, and we showed the world or the EU scene that we can compete on that level, and then that we that we came back stronger. And yeah, for that it's
yeah, I think that's the thing is I saw Meepy's tweet longer regarding IDK and One Up and the wild card spot, and his point was that obviously since IDK have been playing a lot longer, since I mean they've been consistently placing well in Pro League and stuff like that, that they're more deserving of the spot than you guys, since you guys are a new team and have just, like, you guys beat them, but you haven't proven to yourself for the entire year. But I'd say it is interesting. It is an interesting point to make, but teams and their skill levels change so much over the course of a year that if you guys beat IDK and IDK get invited, then Ubisoft are just inviting a weaker team that is more likely to lose. I'm just speaking off.
By no way are we saying that, I don't know, are a weak team. No. We're just saying that they got beat fair and square by a better team on the day, which really, on the day, is what matters.
And at the same time, IDK don't have an org, and like I mentioned, it is a money game for Ubisoft, so inviting a team that doesn't have an org is also...
Ubisoft would like... Obviously, what I love about... I mean, I've never been a fan of the org phase, you know. I think nobody really likes FaZe, because all we think of when we think FaZe is COD fans and COD kids and all that lot. But with FaZe coming in, obviously, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, what's this game? You know, it's going to bring in a lot more viewers to the game. A lot more, same with Liquid, like a lot more people are going to discover the game, maybe even buy the game, which all in the end, all adds up for more money for Ubisoft, which is what they're aiming for. And I mean, I guarantee it. We've just got the new Pro League charms, but 100% will there be a FaZe charm next? Right. Without a shadow of a doubt, there will be.
Yeah, there will be some new charms.
I mean, if we look at these charms, what have we got? We got Rogue, huge org. Black Dragons, you know, they've been around forever, they deserve it. BRK, been around a while, they deserve it. Then Evil Geniuses, another huge org.
Right. I think, yeah, obviously the charms are meant for the to grow attention for the game, seeing as how the big orgs are all like tweeting about like the bigger the org you make a charm for, the more likely you'll get more people buying the charms, because you'll get people who don't even care about the pro teams but just like the organization. Like for FaZe, I mean, people will buy the FaZe charm just because they know about FaZe. They won't even care.
Isn't it like 20 or 30% of the charm money goes to the organizations? So FaZe are going to make quite a bit of money as well when their charm comes.
Right.
Yeah, but that depends on their contracts, which they have
Yeah,
with
of
their
course.
players. But yeah, it's I guess it's normal that big orcs will get the charm earlier than others. But
Obviously, the thing is,
it-
with you, like, obviously, I know we were talking. Ghost is 18. Obviously, if Ghost was to switch to PC, he'd get under a contract, get paid and stuff. I'm only 16. I'm technically too young to be competing myself, so I never really like get the contract side of things. I just join a team, we play for a while, and then a lot of stuff happens, and eventually people leave and stuff. But like with the contract thing, you're kind of like tied down for a certain period of time, I assume.
Well, it depends on the contract.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could go on like a short-term contract, like a couple of season contract, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like. I don't know. Like, it doesn't really. I do agree that the big orgs are going to be getting charms, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
But
It's just a money making game.
yeah, but it's okay. Like every pro team will get their charm, and like there are not much or not many pro league teams left without a charm.
Right.
So
I mean,
think
can we expect to see a one-up charm in the future?
I don't know. Like there are new charms. Like I don't know when were they
I think
announced.
the
Like
best
1 or
part about
2
a
weeks
one-up
ago.
charm will be, obviously, I mean, you guys have only just joined, you'll be here for a while, you may leave in the future, but one-up have always had an Xbox and PlayStation Major League team, always.
Well,
So,
yeah.
mate, one-up have been Xbox Major League runners-up the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, true thing.
Like
They're
they've lost in the final 3 times in a row, and it's heartbreaking for them. Now they've got this new roster, and obviously I'm really good mates with this roster. I know a lot of them not in real life, but I've met them.
Yeah, that's true. They've
I mean, have
huge
you spoke
names.
to them, Lazzo? Because you're in the org together.
Yeah, I've spoke with them a lot or especially with the PS4 team. I spoke.
As I say, I don't really know the PS4 team that well because I'm not on PlayStation. I'm an Xbox player, so
I
I'm
know
more
all the
familiar
guys.
with their.
I play with the guys on the PS4 team. They're good guys.
Yeah, I play with the Xbox because I'm on Xbox, your PlayStation, and Lazzo's the PC man.
That's how it normally goes in these.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Essentially, that's how all our podcasts are gonna go. I'm on the Xbox, you're on the PlayStation, the guest is on PC.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's any sort of confidentiality or if you're even allowed to talk about it or if you know anything at all. But do you know what kind of process went into the wildcard thing? And did you guys know or have like any indication at all before it was like publicly announced?
No, we were just there were just some informations that there is a huge amount of like questions Ubisoft is asking for the wild card,
Oh yeah.
asking to the ESL in general, like how many protests, social media stuff, like is the team often in discussions, and how are they talking in social media, like when you always like I don't know, when you always write shit in Twitter, everyone can see it.
Yeah.
That's one point I don't think every pro player noticed. Like Ubisoft
Yeah.
can see everything we write on Twitter. Like it's public. Everyone can read it.
Yeah.
And when there's something against an ethnic group or I don't know, against other players, then it's not good for your image.
I mean, correct me if I'm right, but after losing to Patacalypsa, didn't Be Genius disband? Crisco did retired, I think, didn't he?
Yes, Crisco and RXVD, they both left the team.
Yeah.
And also their manager, which I know quite well, left the team as well. So I don't know what BGenius is going to do. Maybe they will build up a new team, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing will get a Be Genius more attention than the Shaiko incident.
That's an unfortunate situation for the org because obviously they have a ton of negative press.
The org are getting a lot of hate for it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like when you, Yeah, that's the worst part. They are defending him, but end of the day, if the org didn't know about it, they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, it was kind of. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. It's not
Yeah,
really-
I don't really think we should talk about it. It's not really current topic. It's old
Yeah.
news. We
Yeah.
probably
It's
should just
old,
forget about
and
it.
it's over. Like the topic is over. They're.
I mean, but I
And-
think Lazzo's hacking, so I'm gonna report Lazzo.
It'd be
Yeah,
really
I think-
unfortunate to have a cheater on your team and have him be the coach.
Oh, could you imagine disqualified because your coach is a hacker? I can't wait for the headlines tomorrow now. Coach banned from Pro League. One
There
up
was
Lazzo.
one North American team did use hacks during the ladder, I believe. I think it was
Yes, strictly business.
Yeah, that was it.
Strictly business.
That was kind of sad for them because they announced their team like a few days before, and a few days after they got banned.
They were doing really well in the ladder. I wonder why.
I didn't hear about this. When did this happen?
Oh yeah, they got this. They were like when they go on like they were like I think they were like something like 16-3 in the ladder, and then was it like Nova or someone? Got found out of using hacks, and the entire team got disqualified
Wow,
because of one guy.
it's interesting. But yeah,
So I'm surprised you didn't hear about that. Well, to be
I was on
fair, it was
vacation.
kept pretty quiet. You know, it was actually kept pretty quiet.
I was on vacation.
There wasn't
for
really
3 weeks
much
during the
talk
ladder,
about it.
so I didn't really
What-
like. There wasn't really any way for me to find out.
And to be fair, the ladder didn't really get much attention at all. It was so hard to keep up with the ladder games.
But
It was.
that happened so early in the ladder that everybody kind of forgot about it.
Well, like I said, it wasn't that early. They had actually played around 16 odd games though when it happened, so it wasn't really.
I mean,
It was
you could
kind
play
of
16 games in a few days though. Pretty
Uh-huh.
much. They were playing
Well,
several games per day.
how did the ladder work? Wasn't it only you were allowed to play it a couple of days, wasn't it?
It was
The ladder. It was a.
time schedule.
I didn't like the way the ladder system worked. Like you had to. I don't know. It was kind of hard to follow.
I think kind of any team that put their mind to it was able to get into the playoffs because like there aren't
But
really.
it's like I don't want to talk about them because, like I said, I know them all in real life. But Xbox Master Race, nobody expected them to make it. But they stuck it. They grinded it out, you know, and ended up finishing 8th in the ladder, I believe. Yeah, it was like 8th or 7th in the ladder. Obviously, first game they get Vitality, and had a really strong showing against Vitality. Obviously, 2-0ing them. A great performance. And then, they unfortunately lost to Patacalypsa, who also played brilliant on their game.
I don't know, but the reason Lazzo asked about the reason I asked about the wild card thing was just obviously we saw teams like who was it? It was one of the Brazilian teams. Was it Font? They dropped out right at the start of the playoffs, right? They got
Yeah.
it was
They
fun. Yeah.
forfeited.
No, yeah, okay, yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, there was nothing like.
But there was also talk about Rogue did that. Apparently, everyone was saying.
They
I
were
mean,
talking about-
obviously,
yeah.
everyone said Rogue purposely threw because they knew they were getting an invite. Which, I mean, obviously, we can't really say much. We don't know. We're not them, but we'd like to think it's not true,
No.
and that's the best
No,
we
it's
can do. is
definitely.
hope.
For example, yeah, font. I think it's extra. It's a different stuff because there was the huge organization called Face. We
Yeah.
all know them. And
Well, to be fair,
Font-
like the worst kept secret of 2017 is Font going to phase and fucking I was gonna
Mopa?
say no, not Mopa. Oh fuck, I forgot. It'll come back to me later. Just keep talking about phase.
But
and-
yeah.
It'll come back
Yeah.
to me a sec.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Font is a very huge team. They made it into, like, I guess every LAN, and they were doing very well. And so, yeah, I think there was something happened between FaZe and Ubisoft, so they got invited before
Yeah.
every other team, but every other team was not knowing anything of the wildcards.
Right.
And I guess
Mhm.
for us it was not a thing, that wildcard, because we thought like, okay, we are German, nobody knows us. There are huge French teams, there are huge French fan bases,
Yeah.
and more people would watch French people play. So we need to beat everyone to get to the invitationals. There's no wildcard for us. So we were pretty surprised. At the moment, the ESL admins contacted us and said like, "You will fly to Montreal."
Yeah.
It was a huge thing.
How was the reaction like for you guys?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What was the reaction the moment you found out? I assume it was ecstatic.
Yeah, it was like we were all. Some of us were sitting in the TS, and we were just like, "Are they kidding? Like, is it really happening right now?" Because it was like,
was it one of those moments? Was it like pinch me in case like you think you're dreaming or something?
yeah, something like that. Because we thought it's a joke for like a couple of hours. We thought like he's joking with us, and he poked the wrong team or right to the wrong team, and then we got that, and then we got an email confirmation, so everything was clear now, and then it was like it is right now. We will fly there.
Uh-huh.
I think
So I guess
I don't
now
know.
it's well, obviously, after you lost to Supremacy, obviously you didn't know you were going. I assume you got back down to start working towards the next season, and then you found out. And I assume now you've been working 10 times as harder to prepare for the invitationals.
Or I mean, obviously there's still like another month before you guys go there. Are you guys going like a week before?
I was gonna say, how long are you flying out there for? And like, do you plan to get a house out there for some land practice and stuff?
Yeah, actually, it's not even a whole month. Like we will fly. Or the invitational starts at the 10th of or at the 11th of February.
Oh, really?
So only 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will practice as hard as we can in those days.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean,
try
did you fancy getting me a ticket and let me come with you?
to-
I mean, I am an amazing analyst. You know, I could be a backup coach.
Is there like have you guys do you guys have any like idea of the like how exactly does it work with the equipment that they get to use at LAN? Like the players bring their own mouses and keyboards and mouse mats and stuff like that, but there are some restrictions to the hardware, right? And how like exactly does that work?
Yes, so far I know that we are forced to use in-ears, so
Right.
we can't use our own headphones.
As I say, if I remember, like the only things you can bring that are yours is like your keyboard, mouse, and that's it. But they provide the actual computer, monitor, headwear, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and for sure you can bring your own in-ear headsets.
Right.
Like so you have the best sound you can have, but
Yeah.
But
to be fair, will they have the boost again like they did at Sao Paulo, or no? Do we know about that yet?
What kind of what?
The sound booths, because obviously the crowd was so loud at Sao Paulo. That's why they had to have the.
I don't know. I hope they changed it so you can hear just the things you want to hear in the match.
Well, like you want to hear the crowd roar, screaming your name, don't you?
Well, not necessarily.
It's the kind of stuff you dream about.
Well, you want to hear the crowd roaring, screaming your name, but you don't want to be missing callouts because you can't hear your in-ears. Yeah. So.
What I'd do is I'd have the booth, but I'd leave the door open a crack, you know.
No, well, the thing is, you can't necessarily hear the. Well, what Wilkie said after Sao Paulo was you can't hear the crowd, but you can feel like the vibrations in the building when big plays are being made. So like I
honestly, I mean, just a question. I want to know what the atmosphere was like after Kanto's triple kill in the final.
Triple kill? I don't remember that.
Yeah, right at the start.
Right at the start. Yeah, I don't know.
First map on Oregon where it's like Kenzo Arcadi with the first kill, the second, the third kill.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in the kitchen.
Playing Ella trapped in inside the in the kitchen.
Balance.
And he's just like boomed 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then he would have got the ace, but Wag was saving the KD at LAN.
Yeah.
But do you have do you guys know about the like what would you prefer in terms of like sound booth and the setup and do you know what is going to be used?
No, I can't really tell what it will be like and how the stage will look. Like okay, we saw on the where the map road was how it will look on the computer.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's hard to tell. We never went to any like big stages. Okay, KS was in Sao Paulo and at Gamescom, but we were just at really tiny tournaments in Germany, and like the invitationals, like in the trailer they said it will be the biggest event Rainbow Six has ever saw or seen, and yeah, I definitely think that it will be great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. Obviously, the group stages won't be played like on the main stage, I don't believe. So, like, you guys might have some adjustments there if you make it through the group stage and you have to suddenly be playing in a different environment. I don't know exactly how that's going to work though, so you won't know exactly how it is, I guess, until you guys get there, or like maybe a bit before.
I don't think that Ubisoft will inform us so much
Yeah,
before. But I think when we arrive, there are still some days left until the tournament
right.
really starts. So then we will be able to see everything, and then they will tell us how the whole yeah event will be built up. And
Right.
yeah,
Is it like, have you guys started doing any practice for LAN, or any like using the in ears to get used to them, or and stuff like that, or is playing on LAN a big worry for you guys, seeing as how only one of your players has been on a stage of that size previously?
I think we will master it quite well,
Yeah,
because I think when we are in game, we will be in game, and it doesn't matter where we are playing.
that makes sense.
I
Yeah,
really I really hope that for the players. I hope they can make it and they will stay calm
right,
and can play their game like they would play to at home. And yeah, no, at the moment we are just playing normally. We are practicing hard, but not with in-ears or stuff like that. But we will try to, yeah, to test them some days before.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
have a
That's
question,
good.
Lazo.
Yeah.
Okay, so whoever wins the community vote, it's either going to be BRK or Vitality. Which team would you be more afraid of, I guess? Vitality or BRK? I guess since you guys play against a lot of EU teams, you would be more comfortable playing against another European team in the group.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's really the fact. Like, we don't know BRK, and we don't know how they really play. Okay, we have some VODs from them, a lot VODs and a lot stuff. That would be a very big point. But yeah, we don't know how they play, and we don't know if maybe we can easily beat the Brazilian playstyle with our playstyle, but maybe they will wreck us. Like, you don't know it. And
Yeah.
when we face, for example, like in the U team, we know what we can do and we know our chances and stuff like that.
Have you guys been like, obviously probably not recently, but you guys have some experience playing against Vitality, and have you guys like been scrimming against Penta and stuff like that? Or maybe you
Uh,
don't want to say.
yeah, we played against nearly every team. Yeah,
Right.
in EU we faced every team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Vitality, I guess, would be a win for you guys in terms of the community vote, I would imagine. Um,
Yeah, but
or
in
yeah,
the end of the day, we need to win with everyone in our group if we
right.
want to come up strong.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
yeah, we will see what's going to happen. Maybe we will step up huge. It would be amazing. But otherwise, if we, for example, lose our games, it's not a problem. Like, then it is how it is.
Yeah,
The better team will win in the end.
yeah.
How did KS feel when he found out that Penta was going to be in the same group as his team?
Oh yeah, we were all sitting in the TS and we are watching it, and we all feel like now it's the time where we will face, or we will, like, you saw like Panthers in one group, then you saw Evil Genius joined them, and then we already knew like this is the group where we will come in. Like the group where it's just I don't know if it was karma or if I don't know, but he was like, oh damn, that's gonna be a hard match. But I think if we would face or even I think it's good to be in that group for us because now there's this point where every one of us thinks, oh, we need to do more, we need to do more work, we need to
Right.
practice harder because we want to show everyone that we can win.
That's true. I mean that's something that we saw in NA is the lower tiered teams like the Challenger League teams in NA and you guys for EU definitely seem to want it more than the established teams. Like a team like IDK probably didn't prepare as well or expect as much from you guys, and we're kind of just hoping to get through because they're like quote unquote a good team. But a team like you guys are, like you said, always working and prepared to want to show what you guys are good for. So it might give you guys a bit of an advantage. And,
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Does KS? Well, I don't know. Maybe I should discuss that. But in preparing for Penta, do you think KS is useful?
I'm not sure about that because like they changed the player and this player changed a lot in their way of play, and yeah, for sure KS can help a little bit because he knows how the single players are playing and their play style maybe.
Right.
But in the end, we will focus on that what we know about Penta and what they are. But I think they changed a lot.
I'm not sure what the conversation is at the moment, but I think one of the key ways to beating Penta is, because everyone on Penta is capable of fragging out hard and pulling a lot of weight. We can all agree on that, can't we?
Everybody, I'd say everybody on Penta is also capable of having a very, very bad game. I mean, we've seen all the players on Penta having very bad games on LAN as well. So,
so really, it's a case of find out who's having their best game, and then I focus that person. Whoever's far, like, example, I don't know, I haven't spoken to Black Dragons, but if we look at the final, Ents versus Black Dragons, right? Black Dragons just completely shut out Shate. They did. Like, I think Shate went something like 3-15 or 5-15 over the maps in the final. And Kanto, on the other hand, like they shut down Shate and Kanto flourished. So that's the downside of shutting down one player. It leaves room for another player to flourish.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but in the end, I think like this time in the Invitationals, nearly everyone has the same chances.
Yeah.
Maybe the community will expect somebody else to win matches, but in the end, every match will be very hard and decent, and you can't tell at the beginning. You can't tell who will win and who will lose. I think everybody can make it. It just comes to the fact like, do you have a good day or do you have a bad day?
I think that's one of the things is like, I don't think there's any team in any of the groups that are guaranteed to make it out of their group. I think probably the easiest to call group might be Group D with Ents, FaZe, Ainz, and Era.
Well, you say that, obviously nobody really expects the APAC teams to do well, which then I don't think they're on the same level as other regions, but Era have a great shout of coming out of that group, I believe. The way they were playing in the qualifiers was insane.
Yeah, but like I agree with what Lazzo's saying is like you just can't call it. Like there are upsets possible, and even like it's not even necessarily upsets. It's just play styles clashing together, and
it's like kind of like what I was referring to earlier. How Xbox Master Race beat Vitality in the first round, and Patacalypsa beat Genius in the first round. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think Europe is a little bit more unpredictable, I guess, to a certain extent.
I think the teams are closer matched in EU.
Yeah, they are. Especially the Challenger League teams. Oh my god. But North American Challenger League teams definitely improved after watching the Invitational qualifiers.
To be fair, I'm disappointed that Reckless weren't in the community vote.
I'm just disappointed in general that Reckless didn't make it through because they did play better than any of the other teams, obviously, other than
I mean, fair play to Era. Era won. Fair play to them.
Yeah, Era played incredibly well, and
we can't take anything away from Era. They were brilliant in that game.
Yeah, I just think Reckless played. I don't know. It's annoying because they played better than any of the other NA teams in the community vote. So it's like they kind of I don't know.
Oh my god.
Although saying that, Flip side were undefeated in the ladder, weren't they? They went 17-0 in the ladder.
It was 18 because they beat. They were 18-0 because they beat Strictly Business, but it was removed because Strictly Business turned out to be hacking. That's funny.
Yeah, I got disqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still like for me, like Supremacy is at the moment the EU team we should watch because like
they are very strong.
At the moment we face them, all of us thought like they will step up huge and they will have some great plays. And when these guys are on their good day and will face someone, they will destroy him. We will. That's just I think that this will going to happen.
I mean, we try not to have a biased opinion, but I think it's fair to say that me and Ghost are rooting for you in Group A, I think.
Yeah.
That's officially, I'm rooting for us as well. It's
oh, really? I thought you'd be voting for Penta to win.
Is that on the record, Lazzo? Can I keep that in the podcast? That you're rooting for your own team?
Yeah,
I think that needs to be cut out, you know?
Yeah. It might be a controversial opinion.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah.
Spoiler! Lazzo backs one up for the Invitational. Breaking news. Twitter just loses its shit when they hear that.
I don't know. I think I'm excited for the qualifiers because every team in the qualifiers is beatable. I don't think any of the teams are like necessarily going to win all the matches.
One in Siege is untouchable. You need to learn.
Yeah, I think like, season 1 and 2, Penta season 1 and 2 were probably like. I don't think anybody could beat them at the time, like no matter who they played.
Yeah,
but
Penta year
now,
2 season 1, Penta year 2 season 1, Falco would switch some games around with KS because I was actually saying to Dylan earlier. Dylan didn't know in the actual final against the old Black Dragons, which is now Liquid. It was actually KS played the first map on Border, and they switched mid-game and had Falco play on Consulate.
Yeah. That was a big wild card in season 1, but I think in season 2...
Lazzo, could we see that from you, you know, hopping in for a bit against someone?
No, not really.
Are you officially registered as a player, though?
Actually...
Or are you just down as coach?
I don't think if I could play... I think I could play if some of our guys are getting ill or something like that. When they are not able to play, then I would play, but officially I don't hope that. I want to see them play as 5-second goals.
My interesting questions is do you have any like superstitions before you play? Because like we see Laxing at LAN, Laxing always has to have a pre-game poo.
No, not really.
Do you have any specific to do?
No, not really.
I mean, do you know if any of your players have any rituals like that they like to do before matches?
Oh yeah, definitely. They are listening to some kind of music, some special music and stuff like that. And
That's funny.
Yeah, everyone is preparing in a different way. Like the whole day they are. Yeah, I don't know. Some people eat certain things or drink certain things because.
See. The way I play best, right? I mean, when I play this game, the way I personally, when I like proper like I get in the mood, I warm up, I train seriously. That's not when I'm at my best. I'm at my best when I'm relaxed, calm, and just messing around a bit. That's when I'm at my best.
For me, I think I don't know if it's a ritual or if it's just like a thing that literally helps me physically. It's just drinking coffee before games. If I drink coffee, I normally do better. But I mean, that's just that's a product of consuming caffeine. But yeah. So I don't know, but that's funny. I I don't know if I should bring this up here, but I
See,
heard on
I-
Pengu's stream that he was considering avoiding some personal time up until Invitational because it affects your testosterone or something like that, and he was kind of hoping that if he doesn't get with it, that it could help his performance at LAN. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but that's definitely an interesting.
A lot of things from Pengu turned out to be jokes. One thing I think isn't a joke is, did you hear like in his stream highlights the amount of sunlight he sees?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't.
None. He takes vitamin D tablets to get his sun.
Yeah, that's funny. But
I mean, do you see the sun, Lazzo, or are you do you just hibernate indoors?
No, I have a real life and I have something to do with my real life. I'm not playing 24 hours Siege. I can't do that. The game is not good enough to do that for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not good enough for the game.
Yeah, no one knows, but in the end, I think the game is the problem and not me. And the world in general,
obviously, also, I mean, people like Pengu who play in big orgs and on one of the biggest teams in the world and streams and stuff like that. I mean, he can afford financially to just play all the time too. So, I mean, that's a thing.
I mean, people have jobs too.
Yeah, like not every player can. Like some people have to have jobs.
One of the saddest, most touching parts. I mean, because like I said, yeah, I'm supporting you for the Invitational, Lazzo, but I've also got to support Ents. I've always been an Ents fan from Sisu, from year one, season one. I've always supported them. I've always loved them, and like nothing warmed my heart more than seeing Wilkie finally get his hands on a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like he even got nominated for like esports player of the year, didn't he?
Yeah, by Red Bull.
That's a strange combination of words. I
don't
know, by Red Bull, but yeah. Lazzo, what do you think about not necessarily all the changes, or not necessarily the mid-season reinforcements, but the fact that the operator or the mid-season reinforcements are changing right before the Invitational, and will it change how you guys prepare?
Yeah, I don't think that the changes will affect the way of playing and the meta. And
I mean, Glaciering aren't getting touched at all, so you should be fine, you know?
Yeah, true fact, but I think Ubisoft is... Yeah, they know that the Invitationals are a big event and that the teams need to prepare for that. So they know that they can't change the meta.
I mean, the only thing I can really think, I mean, we see a little bit of Lesion. I mean, I see a little bit of Lesion from KS, which I enjoy, and he's getting a bit of a buff, you know, seeing the goo mines come from 35 to 30. That's not really a major change, is it?
Yeah, I don't think there are any changes, so you will play.
The only sort of significant change will be Ella, but obviously she'll still be overpowered. She always is, you know. It's Ella.
I think the only change is Capital. I think
the damage buff.
More teams will play Capital, and maybe if you nearly all the teams they have like 2 strats, and maybe if you have one strat with, for example, Legion or Capital on the attack side, you will choose these tactics before the other ones. Maybe the way of playing will change a little bit, but there's nothing real new which we're going to see.
I think the change to Ella is the biggest change in the patch, but it's not big enough to change how people play. Yeah, I don't think people are going to stop, like, change where they're putting their Ella mines or change how they're playing Ella and stuff like that. I think it'll affect her, but it won't change the actual end result in terms of how the game plays out. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Until the LAN and see. And I mean, I know I'll definitely be rooting for you guys and excited to see, especially against or Evil Geniuses, to see how you guys.
And maybe after your games, you'll have to give another call on Discord and we could talk about what happened. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That would be amazing.
I have one more question for you, Lazzo. I haven't really spoken much, just because I'm trying to hold my cough in. But Okay.
Dylan's just
So-
in the background dying.
Yeah, so I'm a North American fan. I'm not sure about Ghost, but what do
Well,
you think led to the downfall of North America this year?
Uh,
Well, I think it's fair to say year 2 was EU all the way, wasn't it?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
there's
but I
year-
mean, North America stepped down
year
big
one wa-
time though.
Year 1 was NA and EU. Year 2 was just EU. I mean, obviously, I think to be fair, I mean, like I said, I don't want to really spread hate. I don't want to get hate. I think Latin America has been better over year 2 than NA.
I mean, in the end results, they definitely have. In terms of,
I mean, we
raw
can't rule out
skill.
Elevate though. I mean, technically, Elevate are going as Pro League champs.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that most of the players in Brazil have LAN experience because of all the LAN events they had in 2016. In North America, the only LAN experience they get is when they go to the actual Pro League finals. And I mean,
That
that
is
could
something
play.
to point out.
That
yeah,
could
but
play.
that's the same with you, so that's normally that would not be a point. For me, I think one point could be maybe what I've seen so far from an A is that they have, yeah, I don't know, they like EU has their play style and Brazilian has their play style, which is
Yeah.
working quite well. But the NA play style, it's, I don't know, on some teams it's very, I don't know. For the EU teams, maybe it's sometimes called, we just look at that and then we say like, what the fuck are they doing there? Like we don't have a clue what they are doing there. Maybe, I don't know. Like for me, I can just say that maybe in that seasons the meta was just not their meta. They were just not handling it good enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the biggest factors in terms of NA's success in season 1 compared to season 2 is like, I think the seasons that NA won was the only 2 seasons so far in Pro League where EU just didn't stack up properly. Because I mean, their first season they won.
I know we're talking about this, but just a quick check. I mean, year 1, season 1 was Penta. Year 1, season 2 was Junctis.
Junctis.
And then year 1, season 3 was CTM, Invitational, CTM, Penta, Ents. Am I right? Yeah.
So I'd say I think like on the first season that NA won in season 3 was it came down to one round. Like it was 5-5 overtime on map 3, and that was the round that CTM won. So it was an extremely close game. And then other than that,
that's one of the best Pro League games ever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that was an absolute brawl.
I think that round in particular, I think is probably my favorite rounds to ever have been played in Pro League.
Well, one of my favorite Pro League rounds has to be CTM versus Flipside. Smack the booty mint.
But the point I was getting to is like at Invitational, EU didn't really have any. I don't remember the EU teams really. It was like Euronics and Ents, I think. Was that the only two teams?
CC then. They were CC then. So it was Euronics, CC.
Euronics and CC, and they were beaten up pretty hard. Like they had no chances.
By the Brazilians. Yeah, it was both by Brazilians, weren't it?
Yeah, they both lost to Brazilians, I guess.
No, didn't one of the teams lose to an APAC team? Because there was
No, there were no APAC teams.
Oh really? Oh, I thought there was.
Didn't Air play Envy?
Mindfreak were on Xbox.
Oh.
Yeah, they were on Xbox.
Yeah, Envious was that a Brazilian team?
No, Envy was a Singapore team actually. They're Cryptic now, I believe. And
but they beat Sisu,
right?
didn't they? I believe they beat somebody at Invitational.
They got 1 map point against Era, I believe, but that was it in the first round. Sisu had a first round bye. That's what happened.
Oh, but so season 3 extremely close between NA and EU, and season 4 of year 1, NA didn't really have much competition, and then since EU have like kind of picked up, I think NA just doesn't have the actual capacity to win when EU is at the level it's at right now, and as well as Latin America playing at the same level. I don't know. Like I don't want to necessarily say that. I do think there are 2 teams capable of winning the Invitational from NA, but I don't really think it will happen.
Is the other team Rogue?
No.
I think we should end on two last questions. One, who do we think will win? And two, who do we want to win?
I can't imagine what team Lazzo would want to win.
No, neither can I. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict what Lazzo might want to win, you know?
Oh gosh.
What do you like? What are your predictions in terms of the actual tournament? Like, who do you think is going to be? What are the two teams that are going to be in the finals? Lazzo.
It's going to be 1-up-9s.
No. I think for me, it's really hard, but I think Supremacy will maybe step up to the finals, or Supremacy or FaZe, one of those will step up to the finals, and then I would say the team which is winning the first group will step up in the finals as well. Like,
so you guys basically, yeah.
I don't know, like maybe Penta, maybe Evil Geniuses, or maybe BRK or Vitality.
So who is it we said you play first? You play Evil Geniuses first, right?
Yeah, right.
So a win against them, mate, it's so hard to predict because even if you beat them, you don't know if you're going to be against Penta, Vitality, or BRK. Because the way I see it, I think if it's Vitality, Penta will beat them. If it's BRK, I think BRK would beat Penta.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like, you can predict, or you can say like
it's so unpredictable.
But it's unpredictable. Like, you don't know. You really don't know. Like, this time, like the season before, it was like Penta and stuff like that. These are the teams, and it's really hard to beat them. Like, your chances are really low. But at this time, it's nearly 50-50. Like, everyone can win.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think Supremacy is definitely a really strong contender. Obviously ends because of last season. I don't know. I think there's so many good teams right now.
It depends how Ents go with Yuno and their team, because it could be completely different to Shate.
I think Ents will not step up. They will. I think they will make it through the group stage, and they will make it until the top 8, but then they will lose, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the big factor Ents had was their team play. They were the best team players in the world for me.
Yeah.
Like, they had the best team play, and that it's just not.
And communication too. They had really good communication.
This communication was with because they were stick together for so long time. And now they changed one player, and I don't think that it's still there, the team play, which we saw before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any more questions, or should we wrap things up? Because I really don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a good time, anyways, and I'll definitely be I'll definitely be rooting for 1-up in the at the Invitational.
Thank you very much for coming on, Lazzo. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck to your team, Lazzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck to 1-up.
I'm really excited to see you guys play in Montreal, and I do hope you guys get that prep in time. So.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we will show everyone that we can compete on that level.
Yeah.
No matter if we win or not. Like.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Thing is though, even if you put in like a great performance, do amazingly well, and still lose, you're still going to get recognised for that performance. So end of the day, just perform. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, no pressure and all, but still.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Like, it would be huge if we step up in the BO3 against Evil Geniuses. They are a huge team. Everyone knows them.
The group stages is all best of 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we will play every map, and maybe we play the last map overtime, or every map overtime. Then it's huge.
Yeah.
Then we showed everyone that we can play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm excited to see how it goes, and obviously good luck to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So, you don't have any closing statements? Anything you want to
mention? Anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
No, not really. I just hope everyone will have a great time at the Invitationals, and that as much as possible people will watch it and will
Yeah.
root for our team. I hope.
Yeah.
I think I need to add a disclaimer here because we said some stuff here about certain teams. By no way, what we've said throughout this podcast is, we're not directing any hate towards anyone. We don't want any hate in return. We mean nothing really to say. It's just our own opinions. We're entitled to them. If you have your own opinions, feel free to share them with everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, none of the individual players or teams, mentioned negatively. We don't have anything against anybody personally. It's just.
I mean, I fucking hate that Lazzo guy. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Lazzo.
Thank you very much, Lazzo.